Breaking news: Christopher Nolan is about to release his next film, The Odyssey. You know Nolan, director of Interstellar, Inception, The Dark Knight, Oppenheimer, and more. And his new blockbuster, The Odyssey, is already making headlines. The first film ever shot entirely in IMAX. Biggest budget of his career, around $250 million. So here's the question I want to share. Why would a director like Nolan, who's already made us marvel at space travel, dream hacking, and a Joker, turn to an ancient poem about a man trying to get home? What is it about this story that, after thousands of years, still grips the Western imagination? Before we dive in, here's what you need to know. After the Trojan War ends, a man named Odysseus, king of Ithaca, spends 10 years trying to sail back to his island kingdom. Meanwhile, back at home, his wife Penelope and his son Telemachus are dealing with a mob of suitors who want to take over the kingdom, assuming Odysseus is dead. That's it, that's the story. So we all know Nolan loves homecoming stories, like how Dunkirk is about soldiers desperate to get back home to England, and Interstellar is about the astronaut Cooper traveling across the universe to keep his promise to his daughter. The Odyssey is exactly that. Odysseus spends 10 years at sea. He faces monsters, the Cyclops, Charybdis. He faces temptations like the goddess Calypso, who offers him immortality. And he says no to all of it because he wants to get home, back with his wife and son. But why does this matter? Why should we care about a man going home 3,000 years ago? Here's one answer. In Interstellar, the scientist Dr. Brand said something inspiring. Evolution has yet to transcend that simple barrier. We can devote ourselves carelessly to those we know, but not to the human race as a whole. We are wired to care for our family. That is not a weakness, that is what makes us human. Nolan's answer in Interstellar is that we are both. We must leave Earth, we must take risks for the human race, but we are also pulled back by the people we love. The Odyssey is reminding us of the same thing. In an era where people move more, travel farther, and feel more disconnected than ever, this ancient poem tells us, do not forget who you are. Do not forget that family is your anchor, your emotional core of being human. And that is one reason the story still lives to this very day. So, Odysseus finally reaches Ithaca after 20 years away. 10 years of war, 10 years of wandering. What does he find? His house overrun by suitors. They are eating his food, sleeping in his halls, trying to force his wife to marry one of them. And what does he do? He does not forgive. He does not negotiate. He disguises himself as a beggar, walks in his palace, picks up his bow, massacres every single suitor and the servants who betrayed him. Here's the uncomfortable question. Some of those suitors were probably bad guys, but some of them, maybe many of them, simply accepted that after 20 years, the king was not coming back. A kingdom needs a ruler, someone has to keep order, so they probably just stepped in. And then Odysseus returns and slaughters them all. Moreover, before that, remember, he already sacrificed his entire crew just to get himself back home. Isn't that a dictator imposing his own will on the very men who followed him? Is that justice, or is that just violence wearing the mask of justice? This is where Nolan's The Dark Knight becomes a perfect mirror. Think about the Batman and the Joker. Both are outsiders to the established order, but they have completely different answers to the same question: what is order and who gets to enforce it? The Joker wants to tear the whole thing down. He has seen the hypocrisy of politicians, the cowardice of ordinary people. He wants to reveal the truth underneath, that order is just the cover of our ugly true faces. Batman disagrees, not because he's the superhero, no, he knows the system is broken, but he believes that order, even a flawed one, is the necessary condition for justice. Without order, there's only chaos. So Batman allows himself to become the villain. He takes the blame for Harvey Dent's crimes. He let Gotham believe a lie, because that lie keeps the city together. Now, go back to Odysseus. He has been gone for 20 years. A new order has emerged in his absence. Messy, imperfect, maybe even corrupt, but it is there. By what right does he walk in and destroy it with his bow? Is he restoring justice, or is he imposing his own will because he has the power to do so? The Odyssey does not give us an answer, but it gives us the question. And that question echoes all the way down to many political philosophers who get to define order, and what are you willing to sacrifice to protect it. But before Odysseus left, he was actually a brilliant leader who looked out for his citizens. After 20 years away, is he still the same person? Does he even remember Ithaca the way it really was? Here's the truth. Memory is not a recording. It fades, it reshapes itself. 20 years is a long time. Odysseus was young when he left, now he's middle-aged. His son was a baby, now his son is man. The Ithaca remembers. The wife, the people, the throne, that Ithaca no longer exists. Because time has passed. He is not coming back to the place he remembers, he is coming back to a place that is moved on without him. Think about Lenny in Memento. He has this condition that he can't make short-term memories, so he tells himself a story. He is hunting a man who killed his wife. But here's the twist. We learn that he had already killed the right person, but without the mission, he has nothing to live for, so he keeps changing the story, he keeps altering the facts, because the ideal of revenge is more important than the truth. Or think about Cobb in Inception. He cannot let go of his dead wife Ma, so he builds dreams around her. He revisits memories, trying to fix them. The entire film, he is trying to get home to his real children, but the question at the end is, does he actually make it home, or is he still dreaming? And the brilliant thing is, it does not matter, because at the end, Cobb stops checking his totem. He stops asking whether this is real. He chooses to believe this is home. That is not memory driving him. That is the ideal of home. Odysseus is exactly the same. 20 years of hardship, 20 years about dreaming about Ithaca, 20 years of turning home into this symbol, pure, perfect, waiting for him. So when he finally returns and finds that reality does not match the symbol, when Penelope does not trust him, or when the people do not welcome him, when the suitors have taken everything, he cannot accept it. His rage is not just about justice. His rage is because reality has shattered his ideal, his identity. Now, Lenny, Cobb, and Odysseus are the same. They are driven by an ideal, a symbol they had wired into their minds. Home, justice, revenge, and they tie their entire identity to that ideal. Without it, they fall apart. So when reality refuses to match the ideal, they do one of three things. They destroy reality like Odysseus slaughtering the suitors, they escape back in the dream like Cobb, or they rewrite the story like Lenny. So essentially, the Odyssey is not a happy story about a hero who makes it home. It's a tragic one about a man who spent 20 years falling in love with an ideal and then could not face what was actually there. And that is deeply human. We all do this. We all build ideals in our minds. We all risk being broken by reality when it does not match. That is where the story still lives, because it is not about ancient Greece. It's about every one of us. So let's go back to where we started. Why is Christopher Nolan making a film about the Odyssey? Because this one story contains so much. It has the emotional anchor of home, the thing that makes us human. It has the political rawness of violence and order, the question every civilization has to answer. And it has the truth about identity and ideals, that we define ourselves by what we choose to believe. Remember, the story was written nearly 3,000 years ago and it still cuts this deep. That is why it is the bedrock of Western literature, and that is why it is, as Nolan put it, the story of all stories.